See, I'm out here winning cause I'm on a mission. Put me in the game cause the way I'm feeling, I honestly do not see no competition. I gotta get it so it ain't no quitting. We jumped off the benches and jumped in the trenches.
DA Sports coverage of the NFL has us on the west coast of the Sunshine State. Downtown Tampa's the spot, Raymond James Stadium. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
On second down, Cook. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Third down, here's a run by Cook. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4, but got 3. They'll run for it. Cook. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
I'm laughing because I'm not so sure I would have made this call. I'm not so sure I would have said, yeah, let's go ahead and get this one, especially at this point of the game. But give him credit. He had a feeling and carried it through.
Yeah, that's one where you think, okay, if you're down, 2 minutes left, the ball's near midfield, you go for it. But in this stage, at that part of the field, but like you said, it worked. Jordan Brooks on the tackle. The Bucs at 3-6 now on the year, and they come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here. Losers of 5 straight.
And far be it from me to go ahead and go gloom and doom, right? If they fall down 7-0, 14-0, all of a sudden the cycle starts all over again. So the best way out of this for them, they need something to happen positive early in this game. That's a great...
Under pressure, Trask, and down he goes. Al Woods gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front. A week ago, they dominated in the trenches. They got in the backfield for 5 sacks, setting the tone there, one on the opening drive.
And it sets the tone for the opposing team, doesn't it? Remember when you were a kid and you went to the theater and saw that horror movie and it stuck with you?
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And some room to maneuver. There goes Melvin Gordon. And all the way in, touchdowns.
when they had their scouting report meeting, this was the explosiveness that they talked about trying to contain. They were concerned about it all week, yet he still did it to them. Wonder how that's going to carry over the rest of the game.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. On the return, it's Tristan Ebner from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. In the midst of, well, let's just say a not-so-rosy losing streak. They've got the open week, though, coming up next weekend, so you have to figure this to be a game that they dearly love to have.
Oh, indeed. They have to have this one because that's something positive to take with you.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Jordan Brooks with it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick six.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
Ebner going to elect to bring this out of the end zone here. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. But partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. And they're indeed going. Here's Trask. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Locke going to hand it off here to Gordon. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. They start the drive with Cook. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the 1st quarter. And a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Cook again. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's 2nd down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. The offense on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 5. Trask. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that 3rd down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Locks throw into the hands of Fant. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. A lock finding Fant for the Seahawk 1st down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Throwing on 1st down is Locke. He's got a man, complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Now Gordon on 1st down. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
On 2nd down, Gordon once more. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And it's complete to Adams. Touchdown!
Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here in this 1st half, and now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league, but this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
Fields it right around the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
And he's missed now in his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Trask now. And that is incomplete. Normally, I'd say this will lead to a punt attempt, but this offense already showed in the first half that they'll go for it on 4th down.
Oh, they should have already said, punt it, punt it. Head coach should have already made that decision.
Okay, ready?
Fourth down, Trask. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Locke. This is Gordon on the dump off. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Throwing again on 2nd down. Locke.
And, oh, it's incomplete. Oh, that would have been 6 points, but somehow he couldn't rein it in.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Locke working out of the gun. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Locke gonna go on 4th down. He hits Adams complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. Now Locke again. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on 2nd and goal? They look to throw. It's Locke. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Well, it hasn't been a banner first half for the defense trying to cover him today, but they'll take that one right there, helping force that incompletion.
A chance to really put this game out of reach. Here's 3rd and goal.
From the gun, it's Locke. And this is going to be intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Bucs are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. 1st down, Trask.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Trask. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup. Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't.
Oh, trying to get that to Adams, but that's intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick.
And the Buccaneers are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball,
pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going deep this time for Miller. And my goodness, another interception. Xavier Rhodes with a pick.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line.
And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
A final shot before half for Locke. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, and we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway.
And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Clock now on first down. And that's complete to Adams. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Throwing now is Locke. And his throw's going to be incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being told.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps?
Touchdown, Seahawks. Noah Fant, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And it is 28-0.
28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28. 28
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. This fielded right at the goal line. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. A CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. Let's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And now here is another interception. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. Block now to throw. He goes right back to Adams. That's complete. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. Now Locke. He's got a man. Complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 36 yards on the play.
Frankly, I don't know that this defense knows what to do anymore. Just look at their body language out there. The passing game has absolutely been relentless throughout.
On first down, Locke. It's caught here by Adams. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Into the red zone, it's Locke. And it's caught. Touchdown. Davante Adams. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes this 35-0 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. Well, a dangerous return man showing it here. And he's going to take this all the way down inside the 40.
We all know the teams never want to use the word panic, but if they expect to win this game, it has to start right here, right now. That return just set them up for points, and it needs to be a touchdown, not a field goal.
Try to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Seahawks have picked it up. But he has been a workhorse for them in this game. And ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it. When he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. A lot of work to get away and outside of the pocket, but no actual yardage there on the catch. It's 2nd down. Here's Locke to throw. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turns into a nice play.
Lock gonna throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
Lock to throw for it on 4th. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, here's Trask. And this one's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
On 2nd down, Trask again. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Cade Otton with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Bucs are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. And Johnson's extra point up and good. And that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. Here's Johnson set and ready to kick this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And it's complete to Adams. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Fakes the give to Gordon. Now here's Locke to throw. And Locke throws another one. It's intercepted. Picked up by Sean Murphy-Bunting. And the Bucs are going to take over here up near the 30. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. But it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around the defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
first and 10. Here's Locke. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. It's Ross Blacklock who earns the sack. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their...
And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jamel Dean, and the Buccaneers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Trask. Now he'll let it go deep right side. It's now a loose football. The ball comes out. And the Seahawks have recovered.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. They'll try and grind some clock with Gordon. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 91 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw it is Locke. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. 30-yard line, 2nd and 12. They'll run it up the middle now. Gordon. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Locke going to throw it here. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around.
And now here's another interception. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. And the Bucs are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They'll roll him out right. He's going to let it fly. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Well, let's face it, Brandon, they're down here in the second half. Want to try and make something happen, and if you're the guy with the ball in your hands, you're going to try even harder, because I think all he was trying to do was to get outside the pocket and see if he can find a big play downfield.
Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And this is caught. And they are able to stop it, but he does take it all the way to the 2. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Here's Locke. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. So the victory here for Seattle. And it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headlines tomorrow. And for good reason. They forced 5 turnovers in this game.
And while we were watching this game unfold, I kept thinking about when we did our training camp tour. And something that you noticed along the way. Just about every camp we visited, when the defense got together, everyone was doing ball drills. Defensive linemen, linebackers, secondary, because they understood how vital it was to take the football away. And they wanted every opportunity. When the ball was knocked free, they want all those guys to be familiar with touching the ball so they could pick up the fumble or get the interception. And we saw it pay off in this one here.
Yeah, 5 times. They'll remember this one. So for the Seahawks, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they're going the wrong way as this will drop them to 3-7 now in the year. And they'll get a late bye next week, which might be coming at the right time. And they'll be back in action in Week 12.
I told my boys, it ain't no limit. Told all my dogs, it ain't no limit. Put your head in the game, head in the game, head in the game, head in the game, head in the game.